So, we have the Master Duel tier list post battle trajectory. I'm not going to lie. That is like the stupidest name ever, but battle trajectory does introduce some new archetypes. One of them, I think, may be S tier when it's all said and done. Let's go ahead and talk about our tiers. We have S through C, S being the highest, C being the lowest, and then we have the lowest tier, which is my internet. Really interesting tier there. Sometimes it works. More often than not, it ain't working. Let's start off by talking about Dinos. Dinos are one of those B tier Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Unfortunately, not much has changed for Dino. It does have a decent Despia matchup, and it does have a good Sword Soul matchup. The other deck, I don't think it has a great matchup against, but it's a very solid deck. And if you are a Dino enthusiast, I feel like you could take it to the top tables. Sky Strikers, I'm going to put it in the C tier. Losing Sky Striker Ace Kagari to 1. That is the biggest L of all time, guys. Literally, 3 Kagari, 1 Engage is the way to keep this deck competitive. I don't think personally it's going to be a very good deck, at least until something like that happens, or we get better spell cards. ABC is another one of those solid BC decks. Nothing has really changed for ABC either. Nothing from the battle trajectory, but ABC is just overall a solid Yu-Gi-Oh strategy. And fun fact, guys, the Sky Striker, you can use your Sky Striker Mobilize Engage to search your Sky Striker Hornet drones, which could be that extra monster for your ABC parts. And since Dragon Buster is at more than 1, it'll be a little bit interesting to see how this deck works out, especially since it does get more support with Therions. Despia, guys, is still one of the best decks in Master Duel. Personally, I really would not like to see Despia S tier and dominating everything for this long. I do think that that's a Master Duel problem, but hopefully this deck that I'm going to share with you guys is going to change the course. B-Troopers are extremely powerful in my opinion because they can search Max C, and just about every deck in Master Duel special summons a ton. Searching Max C will get you very far. Cyber Dragon. Cali's Internet, guys. Our first Cali's Internet category is Cyber Dragon. This deck is just, in my opinion, it's not a great deck right now. Ignister, because we are in a best of 1 format, I still want to give it respect anytime nobody's mainboarding kaijus like crazy. Summoning that at arrival monster that's unaffected by card effects, it will get you a dub all the way, pretty much until Diamond, right? Outlich is struggle bussing. Losing that Conquistador to 1 really does suck, but also since Red Reboot is at 2 and a lot of players are playing cards like that to disrupt traps, my experience Outlich is okay right now. Shaddolls, guys. Shaddolls are my internet. Even Shaddol Invoked feels like it just doesn't feel powerful enough. Is it just me? Do you guys think anything different from Shaddol Invoked? I don't think it's a great deck. It just doesn't feel good enough. It feels like okay-ish. I mean, maybe it is B tier. Maybe it is B tier as Shaddol Invoked. Shaddolls are definitely Cali's Internet. I would say it might be anywhere between B or C. I'm gonna say C though. Live Twins, very solid B deck. The problem with Live Twins is that your hand traps can only take you so far. When this deck loses its board, it's like, whatever. It's like, you kind of can struggle bust just with a whole bunch of hand traps and no way to stop your opponent. Flundereese is still an S tier Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Pot of Prosperity was a direct hit towards Flundereese, but this deck's still going to keep trugging. And to be honest with you, I don't think that there's going to be a time where this deck won't be a top deck for a very long time. Fluffles, fairly good going second deck that can OTK really well. I think it's a solid Yu-Gi-Oh strategy to jump into. Marine Cess are a very good A contender deck. To be honest, if you guys are looking into Live Twin, I would better steer you off with Marine Cess because this deck is just overall better. It's just literally a better Yu-Gi-Oh deck than this. It does the exact similar things, except this deck will only get better and this deck kind of stays the same. Heroes, guys, very solid B tier Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You can never sleep on Mass Hero Darklaw, especially with this deck's going second capabilities, not caring about your opponent's board or maxi, and just OTKing. Drytron, another solid B tier Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It's literally weird how this deck doesn't have all of the hits that you would think that would make it a terrible deck, but I think it's really because of player fatigue and just players not playing it. Now, getting to our new Master Duel Battle Trajectory, Odd Eyes. Yeah, guys, don't do it. Odd Eyes isn't necessarily a bad deck if you're playing casually, but competitively Odd Eyes, it got better. The new pendulum, the new ritual monster, the ritual pendulum monster, it's good. But unfortunately, it's still just not powerful enough to keep up, in my opinion. Orcus is the same, guys. It's just as good as my internet. Sometimes it be working. A lot of times you're better off. And Performapal did get support for Battle Trajectory, but still as good as my internet, guys. Plunder Patrol, very, very solid B tier Yu-Gi-Oh deck. As long as Despia and Sword Soul are some of the top decks, being able to summon light and dark monsters are fairly easy, making this deck really good. Prank Kids it's C tier. The problem with this is that Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer is a lot weaker because of Destiny Hero Celestial. But overall, it's a really solid Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Really solid. Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew to 1 doesn't really hurt, at least in my opinion. Dragon Link. Come on, guys. It's Dragon Link. Look, coming from a player that plays TCG and Master Duel alike, you are going to see this deck, especially at the pace that Master Duel is going, at least until like 2024. Dragon Link is like ridiculously good. Salamngreat has always been a very, very solid option. It can be underwhelmed against higher levels of competition, but overall is a good deck. Now, I'm going to make a bold take because the set isn't necessarily out just yet, but I think Scareclaw is S tier. I think Scareclaw is S tier. I genuinely do. Scareclaw Tryhard is going to be a game changer in my opinion. It's unaffected by monsters in defense, and then when it's on the field, it changes everything to defense. On top of that, this deck feels built for best of one because it does have the ability to just OTK your opponent and meshes really well with the Tri-Brigade strategy, which has not been hit. I think that this is S tier. They're all saying I'm coping. I don't know. Maybe I'm psycho enough to play it. What do you guys think about it? We go Tri-Brigade the Diamond? Maybe we could say Tri-Brigade the Diamond. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think that this deck has all of the potential to be a great Master Duel deck. But Master Duel doesn't release all the cards like Dynamorphia. I think we have just about all the cards we need. You know what I mean? I think we have all of the cards we need with this deck to make it good. Sharks, very solid B tier deck. This is like a fairly good deck. It's just a really solid overall deck that you guys can play. This is C tier. I feel like when we get the Therion package, the Therion cards, the deck will be a little bit better. But for right now, I'm going to put it in the C. Sword Soul is irresistibly S tier. These are definites. These three decks, S tier. This deck, we're going to try. Phantom Knight, C tier, just not really a great deck right now. Tri-Brigade is A tier, and I feel that this may put it over the top because it has so many cool FTK or OTK interactions. Umi, another solid B tier Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Just really, really good. These two decks are just, they're a lot better than what people think. And a lot of times they can punch above their weight because players don't understand how they work competitively. I'm going to put Unchained at C tier. Unchained's okay. That's pretty much it about Unchained. It's just okay. Valance, guys, we actually took the time to look up Valance because I'm not well versed into the strategy, but from what I've seen, in my opinion, it's this deck's not it. Like the decks from Trajectory, Battle Trajectory, dog water, potential. At the very worst, this deck's B tier. At the very worst, this deck can be B tier. I'm putting it at A. But these decks are literally bad. This deck has a lot of potential for Master Duel. We're going to go about Virtual World. Solid A, B tier Yu-Gi-Oh deck. This is probably an AB. If a skilled player can make this deck seem a lot better, and it can punch above its weight a lot of times, I'm going to put it in B. And then Zombie World, definitely Cali's Internet. This is not a deck you want to play if you are getting into Master Duel or if you're considering playing a deck. Hockley Fabrics is banned. Chaotic Ruler does not do enough. This deck is it's just not good. It's not good, unfortunately. And that's pretty much all that we have, for my opinion, on the Master Duel tier list post-battle trajectory. I want to know, what do you think about these particular cards? Am I capped? Is Scareclaw way too high, or are some of these strategies way too high or way too low? Let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, check out these other videos. They are phenomenal.